All right. So what was Science you were saying again about how you end up coming out here? Supreme Understanding book, right?
Yeah.
All right. And so what you picked up so far from Supreme Understanding books and whatever else other thing you was doing?
From so basically for this.
Yeah, about this.
Um, so basically that the black man is the original man. Um, he's the creator of the universe, and it's about basically having knowledge of self and understanding who you are in its deepest terms. Becoming, I guess, the best version of yourself, if you want to say so. And understanding that.
Mm-hmm. And like I'm saying, what like that's just the basics right there that you got.
Yeah. So the book that I was reading, it was called the. I'll tell you that book.
See, that's what it is too. That's why I asked you because it's so many books out there right now that like when I was getting the knowledge, when you first got exposed to it, that was you first getting exposed to it. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, you got 1,000 musicians that people might already listen to their music, or, you might have watched YouTube videos, or, you might have read different books and everything. So, when you come into the knowledge, some people already come in with certain preconceived ideas and everything. You know what I'm saying? Which is just that's also a product of the age you are when you get the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, see, when I got the knowledge, I was a kid. So then, just from lack of experience, you don't have that much of a world perspective yet. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
So it's like, that's kind of, one of the reasons why we focus on teaching the babies is because you got a clean slate.
Gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, if you got, 30 years of Christianity in you, you know what I'm saying? It might be a little bit more difficult just from even the pride aspect of, you got so much invested into Christianity. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the whole doctrine of it. But yeah, you were saying, what's the book?
It's called Supreme Understanding. Oh no, Knowledge of Self. Sorry, Knowledge of Self. Its name is Supreme Understanding. It's called Knowledge of Self. So basically, the book is about, I guess, different gods and queens who basically explain their experience and their journey within this or whatever. So it's different people who explain it. How did they come about becoming a god or earth, and how did they get introduced to the nation or the 5%, and things like that.
Yeah, I think I recall seeing that book. And so, what you gathered from that?
It's basically most like the queens and the earths and the gods.
They what? I mean, it can.
Dude from next door, they gave us the stuff.
Yeah.
He wanted to talk with y'all.
Oh man, there's 1,000 people that want to talk to me every time I start. But so yeah, in the anthology book, I recall that book. You know what I'm saying? Like I know a couple of people that put some excerpts in it. But so you were saying that you was gathering like the herbs and what?
Yeah, so the earths and the gods, they were basically explaining how they came about their name, how and who taught them to become gods and knowledge of self,
Mm-hmm.
and just I guess their whole journey in life of how they became that, and just giving I guess knowledge of what they learned, I guess through the 120s and understanding, I guess the lesson in between it. For example, like some people will explain who was the original man, how the original man came about, or who was the color man and how they came about, and then explain it and break it down in a certain way to help you understand a clear version of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right. Well, so do you how much of the basics? You know what I'm saying? Like with our basic syllabus.
I don't know none of it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know none of the basic syllabus. So I grew up Christian, right?
Mm-hmm.
I stopped believing in religion. I'm gonna say when I was 30 years old. I'm 36 now. I stopped believing in religion. I moved away from the Christianity thing because I started talking to some guys and they was telling me about how the Bible and all this stuff. So it made me move away from it or whatever. So then I was just looking around, especially on YouTube and with y'all, and I was just looking at different people. I guess Lord Jamar, this gentleman right here, Supreme Understanding, and a couple more guys. Just listen to them and seeing a little bit where I was trying to understand who I was as a black man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that drew me to it. But I was living in North Carolina. And I always wanted to come to up here, like to this place. I just moved up here. But I was living in North Carolina, so I told myself once I got up here, I was gonna go to school and see what I could learn, you know what I mean, and understand a little bit more about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know nothing because I guess and I didn't want to. Well, I'm not gonna say I didn't want to. A lot of them wasn't teaching the lessons. I guess because it's a little bit private. I guess they don't want to put it out there like that, so they don't give it full. I guess full the full structure.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody might tell you what one of them are like the gentleman outside. He was telling me, I think it was one of the 120s who's the original black man. The black man is the Asiatic black man, human crop on earth or something around there.
Cream planet of father civilization, God of the universe.
Yeah. So he gave me a little bit of it, but I don't know like each one. He was explaining to me to a certain extent what some of them meant.
Right. See, you know, the importance of that, you know what I'm saying, is you know, and this is something that I've been dealing with recently. You know what I'm saying? And this is for all of y'all that's in the room right now. Matter of fact, y'all, yeah, everybody do the each one teach one. Hit the like button and share this on your page. But this is for everybody. When you teach, you gotta teach completely. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is sometimes if you give the person the lessons, right? They look at the lessons like the answers in the back of the book. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now you don't understand or you don't respect that you got to do the work as much because you got to get the answers or because you can get the answers in the back of the book.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is when you get to the test, now the answers are not in the back of the book. So if all you've been doing is copying the answers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you're not going to know how to be successful on the test.
Gotcha.
So see with those lessons, right? You know, it's not necessarily that you copying the answers or that you copying the answers, but that you got all of these lessons right here. So you don't understand the importance and the difference between having them on paper and having them on cap.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
See, the difference is like if I give you a book, right, about chess with all the rules in it, but if you don't know them in your head, you're not going to be able to play chess. You understand what I'm saying? Chess is a game that you got to know how all the pieces move, and they all move in all different variations. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So without you really knowing all of the lessons, right, on cap, then you won't be able to, really understand them because, this is like with everything in life. You know what I'm saying? All knowledge is related. You understand what I'm saying? Knowledge builds on top of other knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, the the digital revolution was built on top of the industrial revolution.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Things that was learned at that time, just about the laws of electricity, all of this is from the industrial area. This is mechanical science. You see what I'm saying? But all of the same things is included inside the computer chips that you use for the digital side. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, the lessons are the same way. Now, the test though, right? See, in school, you get the test is still on paper. But in life, the test is when you walk outside. You understand what I'm saying?
So basically living in is the test?
Yeah. And just the different trials and tribulations that you come in tune with. You see what I mean? Just like you said, you getting out of yourself as a black man, right? Mm-hmm. So, as a black man, we got certain conditions that we exist in.
Definitely.
You understand what I'm saying? A lot of that condition is based on lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's another reason why we keep everything on cap, because now it's like, okay, when it comes time for you to act and react, out here in society, like for instance, right now, they put a candidate in front of you. You know what I'm saying? How do you draw up what this candidate is about? You understand what I mean? And whether you want to support them or not. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We could just have a conversation about it. But once that person is actually in office passing laws and policies that's affecting your life, you see what I'm saying? That's realer than the conversation. You see what I mean? Like right now, we could have a conversation about if there was freedom, justice, and equality in the United States. You know what I mean? How things might be different, how things might be better or worse or whatever the case might be. You understand what I'm saying? But that's still verbal. We still talking that. We not walking in that life yet. You understand what I'm saying? And the lessons, what I'm saying, what I found is that the freer something is, right? The less people understand what was paid for that.
Say that one more time. The
freer something is, right? The more you can get it without having to do nothing for it, the less you aware of how much people paid for that.
Gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying? Like when you a child, you in the house, you know what I'm saying, and you drinking the juice, you really not aware of all the things. Like it's not just the money that was paid, it's the time that was paid when they had to go in the labor and all. You understand what I mean? All of that went in to you getting that juice. You understand what I'm saying? So by the same token, when a person just, they just get the 120 lessons, right? Especially without actually building with a brother, you know what I'm saying, or sister, people could come to the misunderstanding that they are 5%ers because they have the lessons. Or they could come to a misunderstanding that they understand the lessons because they have them. You understand what I'm saying? So, we could get in a conversation about the lessons, right? And there's things in there that is not visible to the naked eye. You understand what I'm saying? Like we got lessons that, I don't know if you know the history of them, but they've been around since 1934, right? As a nation, we didn't receive them until 1964.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So in that 30 years, the people didn't do what we did with them. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the difference is, the way we got it and how we was taught to use it. You understand what I'm saying? Like we don't just look at it as just scripture where you just observing it as a story from the past. Where those things within that story, like you're saying, when you start to analyze things, right? If you ever start looking at Christianity for what it's worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you like, yo, man, these stories can't really be true. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that only applies, that's only because you just applying it from a historic aspect to say, did these people exist and did they do these things? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in reality, when you're able to read the code, you realize that all these people is like how they say the whole world is a stage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All these people is characters in life.
So, for instance, that whole thing, is it more allegorical to a certain extent?
See, when you gain an understanding, right,
Mm-hmm.
of things in life, you gotta remember that they're on all different levels. So yeah, there's certain historic things for you to understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's certain allegorical things for you to understand, certain scientific things for you to understand. You know what I'm saying? All these different things is you know, when you dealing with knowledge and understanding, right? Like you can have a 3-year-old child, right? And you can take him outside and you can point to a car and ask him, what's that? You know it's a car, but he don't know how to drive it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another level of knowing and understanding the car
Gotcha.
and what the car is. So you might know how to drive it, but you don't know how to fix it.
So it's more of you knowing one thing and then doing the research to understand a little bit deeper and then going deeper into it so you can understand a little bit more.
And it's infinite.
Gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying? On the different levels that you are understanding, just like, it might be something that you learn, a person just told you that. So you learned it based on the fact that you heard it and you kept it in your memory. But you really only got the full understanding of what that meant when you reach that stage in life where, you have to use that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you were a kid, they might just keep telling you, look, stay away from the stove. And you don't even know why they telling you to stay away from the stove, but they just keep telling you to stay away from the stove. And then one day you get burned. You see what I'm saying? And now you got a different level of understanding about staying away from the stove now.
From experiment.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So all of those different things is those is just different aspects, different ways of looking at things. You see what I'm saying? Like, look, if I put this chair right here, right, what you seeing is something different than what I'm seeing, but we looking at the same thing.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now, through your experience, when you explain your experience to me of what you seeing, and I explain my experience to you of what I'm seeing, we gonna be able to put that together and see that we talking about the same thing, but you looking at it from a different perspective. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could say this is a table, right? Like this chair is a made object, right? But it's on different levels. You're talking about the people that actually got all these materials, the raw materials out the ground. Because that's the level of making it. You understand what I mean? The actual chemicals and the we call those the atoms. Yeah, right. That actually this thing consists of. That had to be made. But look, you also just talking about the people that put the screws in it. You see what I'm saying? That's another level of it. You understand what I mean?
You mind if I write something down?
Yeah, you're supposed to be writing stuff down.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I was just listening. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's more or less like you all right?
Yeah. Right.
So it's more or less like, for example, if you are an electrician, you're going to see this building totally different than how I see it from your perspective. So with the lesson, you see it totally different than how I see it. Like me coming in here is only understanding from like a minuscule point of view.
Right. You're the lay person. But now look, see how you just said the electrician? That's a good example. Now look, the electrician sees something different than the plumber sees.
Correct.
The plumber sees something different than the carpenter sees. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And all of those is different levels of how the house was made.
But they all create the house. So
they all create the house. Right. You see what I'm saying? And see, that's what the supreme mathematics is. The supreme mathematics is how you draw up the relationship of all those things. You understand what I'm saying? You know, so you know the supreme mathematics, that's a plan. That's what you know what I'm saying? When they draw up the plans and everything, where the plumber, you know, when he come in, he don't want to put things too close to where the electrician put his stuff. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Listen, they said you will handle a lot later. You talk to the dude?
No.
Yeah, we need the rest of those.
What?
We need the rest of the stuff.
How many of them there?
I think it's 5 more of those in the table.
I'm coming tomorrow. I ain't doing them no more today. Unless you get some people help. I haven't been to bed since yesterday.
This is why you do things in a mathematical order. You know what I'm saying? And not out of order. Now you wanna do what I'm doing. See, one thing in life, man, learn how to be a good Indian. See, it's impossible to be a good chief until you've been the perfect Indian. See, you tell you something, man, a type of thing, man, where you don't want to get caught up in. So you ever had a situation, right, where imagine you was trapped in a cave somewhere, right, and it was complete darkness. And everybody was confused about which way to go. And then you said, look, let's go this way. Then all of a sudden, when we start going this way, somebody sees a light at the end of the tunnel. And now all of a sudden, they want to take the lead because they know now they see the light at the end of the tunnel. See, beware that light at the end of the tunnel is not a train coming at top speed. See, I've seen lots and lots of people make that mistake in life.
I like that.
Yeah. See, and that's because you don't know how to be a good Indian. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
the thing is, I guess, especially in society today, everybody wants to be the leader. Like everybody wants to start at the top. Nobody wants to start at the bottom, though.
Mm-hmm.
And the bottom is the foundation. So nobody wants to start there to learn. They already want to be where the CEO or whoever is the top person is.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody want to go to 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah. And see, what we call that, right? is in this, we call that putting the wisdom before the knowledge. You trying to do, everything that's supposed to come after, you trying to do that first.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? And what's supposed to come first, you ignoring that. See,
I was reading that in the newspaper. I mean, the paper that I got from the gentleman Friday.
All right,
putting wisdom before knowledge instead of knowledge before wisdom. I guess society have that whole ideology of putting wisdom before knowledge at this point in time. It's supposed to be the other way around.
Well, the society that we in,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's the law that they was founded on.
Gotcha.
They was founded on the law of putting the wisdom before the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? This is a whole complex level of stories that you didn't get to yet, you know, in terms of studying this. But this society that we exist in is based on that. You know what I'm saying? So that's that's always what you're gonna see. It's always what you're gonna see exalted. You know what I mean? Especially in this day and time right now where the tools of indoctrination is they more powerful now than ever before.
Definitely.
You see what I'm saying? So when you look around, you're gonna see that because that's the law. That's the law that they've been living out, from the inception of this. You see what I'm saying? Like, example, you know what I'm saying? We talk on the live stream, like I said, all the time. When you deal with say the economics in society, right? Capitalism. And people think of all the different ways that they want capitalism to be reformed and all the different things that they think is wrong with capitalism, right?
Mm-hmm.
The issue is that at the root of it, capitalism was founded during slavery.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's a part of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not paying for the labor is a part of capitalism.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So right now, when you see people complaining, like, nah, it's not going to work that way.
It was the foundation.
It was already founded on, a certain amount of subjugation and exploitation. You know what I'm saying? Not every single person that's selling a hat or whatever, that might not be fully what's on their mind, but that's a part of the system that you prospering off of. So when you look all around, you know what I'm saying, the capitalist system, you're going to see different things where it's subjugation and oppression, but it's because that's a part of the system that is based on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely understand because, like I said, living in North Carolina, I was working at a place called Walmart Distribution Center, and the labor there was exhausting, but the pay wasn't good, especially in the South. Like the South have these, and then the labor laws down there doesn't work like the labor laws in New York. So I was working 12 hours a day, getting paid minimal money, but they didn't care, you know what I mean? And then they'll replace you quick, you know what I mean? And it was a bunch of people at that same point. So it was more like, it was a form of slavery, but a modernized slavery, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like a plantation to a certain extent. Like you had a bunch of people paying them low wages, doing extra work, but they didn't care. And they would just get you out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand where you're coming from, like the whole capitalist, especially like from the South, like the South, the Southern state, that was more about like free labor all the way through and through.
Mm-hmm.
Like they wanted to keep the whole free labor and slavery going. So,
okay. And you got, all these different companies, like see Walmart, because I pay attention to economic type stuff like that, that's a part of their specific history. Walmart was started in Arkansas.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when they first started, they was hiring the farm women who really didn't know about economics like that because they had lived on farms their whole life. So a lot of them, they really was just trying to make a little extra money to make ends meet on the farm. It wasn't, all this ambition of what's minimum wage over there, what's equal pay over there.
So they understand.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Walmart started without not paying the people.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So if they change that system, you understand what I mean? That's their what they call it, like your business plan.
The blueprint.
Yeah, that's their business plan right there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we're gonna find some people who kind of like the economic standards is low.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That we gotta fulfill for them. You see what I mean? And then that's what you see the outsourcing, all of that is about finding a population, right? That
Walmart for minimum price.
In that, see, in this day and time, right,
mm-hmm.
that you can enslave without guns and whips.
Truth.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's you can free a person's body, right? And their mind still be trapped. And even on a small scale, right? You ever knew somebody that was so institutionalized to the penitentiary that it was like, they just did and said things that was just, look, we outside in the free world now. You know what I do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, look, one time I was in a brother's rest, right? And he was cooking. And so he said to his little brother, yo, look on my dresser in the room and bring me the can of vegetables. Now I'm thinking, yeah, we in the kitchen. You supposed to keep that over here in the kitchen. But see,
he's so used to
being
his food, having his food close to him.
Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you had when you go back to the end of slavery, you see all different types of stories. You know what I'm saying? Of how you had original people that actually was ready to extend, their slave condition, because that's how deep they was into it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have people that stayed because they felt like, master needs their help now more than ever.
Yeah. And when you explain like that, it happens like you were saying with the prison system. Like guys, they go back not understanding when they get out. You understand?
Yeah.
They don't understand the world out here now, so they end up back in there, and I guess more or less not reformed and understanding how to maneuver in here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
see, every slave plantation they have chains and whips.
Yeah.
On some of them, the people were so well indoctrinated, they didn't need to do that. See, it was after Nat Turner and all the stuff like that started getting famous. That's when everybody had to go and change.
Right.
Because of the fear. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You see all these different things, what I'm saying, right? This is what I'm saying about, these is events in life that we can take it to the lessons, right? And draw up, what's the foundation of it and how this is related and how that's related. But that's what I'm saying. When you actually out there and you need to free yourself from the modern slavery, you understand what I'm saying? And you need to free the other people, whether they're your family or, whatever makes you care about them. You understand what I'm saying? That's the real deal.
So it's unlearning and relearning everything to a certain extent. So it's
depending on how old you are when you got the knowledge. See, the older you are, the more you got to unlearn.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Whereas, if you was straight born in this condition, You understand what I mean? Just like, look, you don't have to unlearn, or you don't have to unlearn the right way in this society because you was never taught the right way.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. If you never was taught the wrong way, then you wouldn't have to unlearn it. You know what I mean? That's also, one of the great thing about teaching the young. You know what I'm saying? And that's always been, a lot of things is just the truth of the universe is used against us a lot of times because we don't know it. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, when they talking about pre-K, right? And when you see all these different cartoon characters in the marketing for different projects, for different products, right? This is all of them indoctrinating. They understand this concept that you got to start then. You see what I'm saying? Or even like you said, from the Christian church, I remember the preacher used to say that, as a lesson to the older people that listen, you have to, and this is, I knew it was so funny about this for the first time I heard it, when they said, uh, when you got to make sure that your kids, if they have $1, that they give 10 cents to the church. Yeah. So then that way, when they get older and they got $100,000, you know what I'm saying? Then they'll give 10,000 to the church, but you got to train them in that now. You see what I'm saying?
And it's definitely because my whole family is Christian.
Right.
Like my whole family, my grandmother's a pastor. Mm-hmm. My dad and my mom are preachers. I got brothers and sisters that's preachers and ministers.
So yeah, so you like a straight black sheep.
Yeah. I'm the one that went left. I went all the way left, and that's the thing. So living down there, it was different because I didn't go to church, and they looked at me as like the devil because I didn't believe in their ideology on things because I knew I studied a little bit more of understanding what the Bible was teaching wasn't always correct. You know what I mean? From our outlook on it. Now, I'm not saying there's not certain parts of the Bible that you can learn from it and that you can use in everyday life, but from the way they was preaching it, it was more to indoctrinate fear for the afterlife. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what this is. See, when Christians read the Bible, right? Mm-hmm. If you got the history here in America, I'm talking about just biologically in terms of your family lineage, right? Mm-hmm. If it comes through here in America, when they read the Bible as slaves. Mm-hmm. Like that's how they see themselves. So when they look in the Bible and they see that, okay, these people have been lost from home for 400 years and they strangers and they serving the other people and it's all this curse and fire and brimstone is supposed to come on them, they identify with that because that's how they see themselves. You know what I mean? When the Jews read the Bible, they see themselves as the chosen people. Yeah. They're not reading that for them. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when I read the Bible, I read it as God. So these people 400 homes, 400 years or whatever, that ain't gonna do with me. I'm the one doing the smiting. I'm not the one being smited.
Got you. So
that's the importance of having knowledge itself throughout the whole universe, wherever you travel. See, certain things like, look, we see ourselves now, right? To say if you was born after like 1965, we see ourselves, we just don't see ourselves as, sharecroppers. We don't see ourselves as subject to Jim Crow. You see what I mean? So just the difference in the way that we will allow a colored person to talk to us is totally different because of how we see ourselves. See, that's part of what knowledge itself is. is that when you moving throughout the world, if you know who you are, you know what I'm saying? And look, that's a part of being what a slave is. If you moving through and you don't know who you are, then you can be subjected to all different types of stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But once you know who you are, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, hold on. You know what you are, you know what you can do. You know what I'm saying? Now, everywhere you go, you're gonna fit into that lane.
So it's basically like a tourist been inside a new country and don't know where he's going and being lost. I can tell him anywhere to go, he's gonna go that way and think I'm giving the correct direction, even though it might not be the correct direction.
Yeah, because you don't know.
Yeah. So basically, they reading the Bible from that perspective of somebody that's lost. So what they reading is basically them enslaving themselves even more to a certain extent.
Yeah. Where, they feel like all this struggle and everything, we gotta what's the type of concept? We gotta maintain our religion through all this trials and tribulations because this is our test right here.
Yeah.
And this is how we gonna make it to heaven. And then that's when we gonna get to relax.
Bro, that's what I live. That's the hurtful and scary part about my people. You know what I mean? My family.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see. They're waiting to just die. You know what I mean? They're waiting for this afterlife that they don't know that really exists. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're waiting for. Like you can see it.
Yeah. But see, they're not real with it. The realest Christian I ever heard about was a dude. It was a dude that was choking at the table. And the dude was there. They said, "Why you didn't help him?" He said, "Yeah, I don't know what Jesus might have planned for." Like Jesus might have been ready for him to come, man. Who am I to disturb that? Like, see, you 100% real with what you're saying. You see, a lot of Christians, that's what you be like saying. You don't believe this stuff yourself, man.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, like, look, especially when you deal with the people that's administering.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I mean? Where, look, if you believe that there was really a hell, would the priests be molested? Like, you don't believe that, son.
And that's what you
see what I'm saying? A lot of things they do is good. If you really believe what you were saying, you wouldn't be mourning all these people that died. And then you tell them like they're in a better place. Then what you sad for?
And if it was a better place, nobody runs from paradise. People run to paradise.
Right.
So if I knew heaven was a beautiful place, why am I not trying to get there quicker? If I'm living hell on earth right now.
Yeah.
And that's the concept. It's like, but they willing to suffer. Like it's like, there's a scripture saying it's easier to get to heaven through the needle of
the eye of a needle. It's easier for a camel to walk through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to make it in the heaven.
And that's another concept, money. Whole nother, like you were saying with capitalism and that mentality of understanding money, like they get rid of it or act like they don't need it or say it's evil, but at the same time, that's all you're doing. You work every day and you're gonna work every day for that.
Mm-hmm.
But to believe that it's evil though, like why are you going after something that's evil though?
Mm-hmm.
So it's scary, man. Like most times, like when I talk to them and the way they talk, it just becomes scary, man.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes sad.
But those things is the building blocks. You know what I'm saying? Confusion, just like knowledge, like when you're using the first grade or using the kindergarten, you learn how to count. In the first grade, you learn how to add, subtract. You know what I mean? The knowledge keeps building. That illusionary, confusion type stuff keeps building too. You know what I'm saying? So, the religious stuff is kind of the building blocks, right, of the social stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way they don't, a person don't comprehend what it is, what they believe in religiously. You understand what I mean? That's a mentality. You understand what I'm saying? To be able to, hear this story or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And believe in the deification of these people, that's a mentality that can be exploited. The next thing is, look, George Washington never told a lie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Thomas Jefferson believed in freedom. These types of things. But see, you've already been dealing with the deification of different people. So when they give you certain heroes, you know what I'm saying? Rather as a politician you seeing right now or one you hearing about establish the country, you understand what I mean? It's easy for you to believe that stuff. You see what I mean? Just like being a skeptic that's a mentality. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's skeptical about just one thing. You understand what I'm saying? People that are skeptical, they skeptical across the board.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you see them being gullible in a situation, you'd be like, yeah, that's unlike that person. You see what I'm saying? But so those things is the building block. Just like look, uh, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, all these things is the building blocks of you being able to go into religion.
Right.
You see what I mean? Because, first of all, with all these individuals, right, it's the same thing where the reward comes at the end, right? But you got to believe in this.
Yeah.
You got to believe that there's
But the crazy part is, it's starting off a foundation as a lie. Like to believe in Santa Claus is to start off and telling it, like, because I got an 8-year-old daughter,
mm-hmm.
and I never told her that Santa Claus was real because I never wanted to be that person. Like I always like, why would I be the first person to lie to you? Like I don't want to be the first one because that means you can't trust me. Because once you get to age and you see that, okay, Santa Claus is not real, you're gonna look at me and it's gonna hurt you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna look directly at me and say, "Why you lie to me like that, Daddy?" She might not say it that way, but it's like, you know what I mean? So the whole foundation is starting off in a lie, and it's like,
mm-hmm.
and then it just keep going, and then y'all just believe everything. So it like you were saying, like it does kind of lead up to the Bible.
Yeah,
just like that's crazy.
Yeah. all that's the building blocks of it. You know what I'm saying? The same way, those stories that you learning about George Washington and Thomas Jefferson or whoever else, those are the building blocks that lead up to patriotism, right? Which lead you to go out there and get your head blown off for something that ain't got nothing to do with you. You see what I'm saying? But in order for all these indoctrinations to work, they got to start off with you when you're young. You understand what I'm saying? That's the real reason for pre-K. They tell you it's about all this other, we're gonna educate them, but they're not learning that in it.
Nothing valuable that's gonna help them outside of there.
You see
And
what
they
I'm
teach
saying?
nothing that is valuable outside of school that we can do anything with.
And they're singing songs.
Yeah, and naps.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But the thing is that we've introduced you, right, to our frame of mind.
Yeah.
Or at least the frame of mind that we want you to be in. You see what I'm saying? Just like, look, coming out of the Christian world, right? See, once you say the year is 2020, right, you bear witness that Jesus is Lord. Because this is 2020 Anno Domini in the year of our Lord. Who's our? It's not in the year of Isis and Osiris. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's in the year of Jesus Christ, and that's teaching that he's a holy man that live in the sky now. Whatever different branches, they teach different stuff.
So that's why they have different concepts of calendars. Like this is a certain type of calendar.
At one time, everybody had their own time. Year one was when they was founded. You understand what I'm saying? Like in the Jewish calendar, is the Jews got a calendar. It's not 2020. It's like 59 something or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? If you hear the Chinese people talking, they be talking about we got vases that's 50,000 years old. You understand what I'm saying? That's something that actually had to happen in order for them to construct the history that we got right now with the dates on it. Different people had different dates on it, but they could go by the event and say, okay, this thing right here, what these people said happened in 15,000. Okay, these people over here saying it happened in 2000. We can tell that's the same thing because of the way they describe the battles or whatever. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or but at one time, everybody had their own history. You know what I'm saying? People even had their own gods.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Everybody was writing their story for themselves. And a lot of these holy books is a combination of different stories that everybody was telling their own story, but you was telling it with the elements. Like I said, if you put this chair right here, you see it from your perspective, I see it from my perspective. You know what I'm saying? But now, in order to indoctrinate all these people, we gotta incorporate a little bit of everybody's perspective. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thing with Christianity in particular. You know what I'm saying? Other religions had other reasons for indoctrinating people. To see with Christianity, the Roman Empire had too many different kind of people. You understand what I'm saying? So they got all these different type of people. The people got all different interests. They got all different stuff. So the only way to keep them from fighting within the empire, right? And you having all these problems is you got to get one thing for all of them to believe in. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, just like right now, you know what I'm saying? If they want people to stop protesting, then the one thing they'll bring up that they know they got everybody believing already is Martin Luther King and how he had a dream in peaceful protest.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever is the one thing. You know what I'm saying? If we want you to, go in the army, we want to send you overseas or whatever, put you through all this stuff. The one thing you gotta believe in is 9/11. You know what I'm saying? And what it was about, and these people want to destroy our way of life or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is.
So they're basically subduing them without force.
That's You see what I mean? Because you can't go out there with the army and keep conquering all these people like that. You see what I mean? But if you conquer them mentally, you ain't got to do it one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
thinking about that, the whole Martin Luther King thing that just came up, and it was the same time of this gentleman Jacobs getting shot by the cops, and then like it became big. Like you see celebrities, they canceling games and everything like that. Then all of a sudden, they came up with the Martin Luther King thing, and then all of a sudden they come to understanding that we need to talk. So the NBA is, I guess, letting the arenas be the voting booth for people for the election. So it's like it wasn't a good compromise, but they took it. Okay, we're gonna resume the games because we're losing money.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll give y'all something. So we're gonna give y'all the arenas to go vote, so you won't have to do it through mail.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like you're giving me something, but you're not giving me much. You're only giving me something to pacify me for a certain extent, to keep me quiet. And then the next thing that happens, they're gonna give us something to pacify after that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what it is. Seems like.
Yeah, that's that's pacification 101.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let the people vent. You know what I'm saying? And support and manifest so-called change.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But a change that maintains the status quo. You understand what I'm saying? See, so like you said, even with that talking, that's something that's one of those things that people kind of believe in now. And it's just like I was saying earlier. See, a lot of times we talk about all the problems vent about different things, right? And then everybody feels better, and you feel as though there's been some type of change, but really, all you did is talk about the problem. You didn't act on no solution.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, this kind of whole idea, and that's another thing. That's, this whole idea of progress. You know, if you say you bring up the brother with Jacobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they, we freed the slaves. Yeah, but the progress is moving kind of slow. You understand what I'm saying? They always, well, 10 years ago, imagine what would have happened. Yeah, but it's not 10 years ago, it's right now. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But these kind of things, that's we would call the rich or whatever, what I'm saying, the people that hold the reins of power, right? Their biggest fear is the masses.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So one thing that they concern themselves with, right, is making the masses feel as though they having some type of impact. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Making them feel as though they have some type of recourse. Because when people don't feel that they have no type of recourse, right?
They don't revolt.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, rather is voting, you know what I'm saying? These different dialogues that we open every time, you know what I'm saying? But the key, see, this is where supreme mathematics and these type of things, when you really able to analyze things and weigh them and judge them in a systematic kind of way, you know what I'm saying? And not just, you come to certain realizations without knowing nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to really be able to draw things up scientifically, you know what I'm saying? What you could tell, what you could look at is the fact that the dialogue is the same. Meaning you could take the dialogue that they opened up after Emmett Till got killed,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's the same dialogue they talking now. So how could there be change if we you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the dialogue itself is making us feel as though it's been changed.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But those are the type of fine things, right? That when you measuring things and you weighing them and judging them, right? That's what mathematics do. That's what mathematics is used for. This thing right here got 0.00001 of an ounce. This thing got 0.0000005 of an ounce.
So that's more or less knowledge versus belief.
Precisely.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Where you weigh it and judge it, and then now you know what it is, like you said, what it is that you heard, what it is that you believe, and what it is that you can actually know. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of deception. You know what I'm saying? In terms of our condition. That's the main thing you got to be looking at. You know what I mean? It's just in terms of our condition of not having freedom, justice, and equality. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the big difference. You know what I'm saying? In everything that's going on. You know what I'm saying? You know, uh, just like when you're dealing with church. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of black people, they going to church and what they praying for is just survival. Right? Now they praying to the same God, right, as the rich people, but the rich people is praying for more prosperity. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So uh, you know, they saying on the one hand that it's all about religion, but your social status got a lot to do with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even you ever heard of the tickets to heaven?
No.
Yeah, it was a pope that he was selling tickets to heaven. So if you was rich enough, yeah, you just bought the ticket now, so you do what you want to do. And then when you got to the pearly gates, instead of you telling the angel there what you did, you just give him your ticket.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's Protestantism. That was one of the
What is that called?
what
It's called the ticket.
tickets to heaven.
Tickets that I got that one.
Yeah. Somebody in here, who's in here? Rome J. We got a branch. You remember they had that hurricane, some kind of hurricane or something, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We got a branch that's hanging off the tree in the yard. We need your expertise. All right, calm as lonely. Don't listen to Melchizedek. Is this a side rally going on in here? Yeah, they talking about Europe or something. Yeah, my room over here, man. Sometimes they go off on tangent.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had to catch back up with them. You know what I'm saying?
So they have their own dialogue in the group.
Well, these they started off just observing the class. You know what I mean? Whoever comes, but then depending if it's not a whole bunch of people, you know what I'm saying? I'll go in here, and then on other days I come on still. Like I got my class on Monday and Tuesday, but I'm on pretty much every day except Thursday. I've been a little bit sporadic the last couple of weeks, but so yeah, they used to, and then they know each other now too, so they got all type of conversations they be having, that I'm not even privy to. Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But so these is all the things, you see what I mean, like the way how we discussing things right now, you know what I mean, in particular the youth didn't really have no way of making these drawing up these kind of truths about things. You understand what I'm saying? See now, like I get to speak to you just based on certain things of just experience. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the wisest of men, right, learn from other people. You know what I'm saying? Uh, wisdom, you gonna make some mistakes, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta be wise enough to realize them. But the wisest of men learn from other people's mistakes and they successes. You know what I'm saying? You're able to look at what other people is doing and see the direction they headed, you know what I'm saying? And kind of direct yourself from there.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? The dumbest of men never learn no kind of way. You know what I'm saying? They can make the same mistake over and over and over and over, with no limitation of time in between. You see what I'm saying? But so that was the reason, that we was presented with the supreme mathematics and the supreme alphabet. You know what I mean? The 120 is just a story about, who's God and who is the devil and what happened when they interact. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Bible. The Bible is a story about, who is God and who's the devil and what happened when they interact, right? Kind of from the perspective of this family. You know what I'm saying? Abraham and,
Yeah.
or the,
So basically, it's like them sitting around the table having a discussion with their family.
Yeah. They like the narrator, you know what I'm saying, is kind of speaking about them, you know what I mean? Everything that happened kind of set up their family story, you know what I'm saying? But the people in their family represent, between the people in their family and the people their family interact with, it represents all the different characters, you know what I'm saying, that you come about in life. You see what I'm saying? So, that's why, there's a certain amount of things in there that, for instance, with your family, they'll be like, see this right here happen? It says in the Bible. You know what I mean? But it's not that the Bible is speaking on this particular circumstance. You know what I mean? It's that this is a regular circumstance that occurs. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like when they say, you see, look in the Bible. You see what's happening now? This is the end of time.
Right.
They got the same thing. So basically, okay.
And see, if you go by Christian people, there's never been a time when it wasn't the end time. In the history of Christianity, there's never been a time when it wasn't the end time.
Always the world about to end.
Yeah.
But the world had never ended.
So that's what it's showing you, that these things is not so much just telling you about that historic story right there that may or may not have happened. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The real thing that is getting across to you and see is about these different circumstances that happen, you know what I mean, when positive and negative interact on the planet. Right?
Basically, to a certain extent, is more like a polarity.
How you mean?
Like a duality. So for example, when you talk about God and the devil, it's more of through one person of like, okay, that person, it's like we have good sides and bad sides. So it's like, you know what I mean? Left and right, up and down.
I see what you're saying.
To that extent.
Well, I think I see what you're saying. See, now, when I say what happened when they come together on the planet Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's on every level, meaning that's on your individual level, right? Mm-hmm. Meaning, like you said, the positive thoughts and the negative thoughts, the positive actions and the negative actions that you've done, right? And how they interact on you, on your own planet, right? But it's also dealing with every individual group that you come in tune with. You know what I mean? Whether it's your family, whether it's your friends at school, all of those is different. Like, for instance, right? You may be the Judas for yourself. Certain times you was the one that did something stupid that messed you up. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That you knew you wasn't supposed to do, but somehow you ended up doing it anyway. You betrayed your own self. You know what I mean? Like, it might have been, a person where you like, yo, man, I don't like this person. I don't really want to be dealing with them. But then for whatever reason, you might go along with the program and then you get burned. You like, see, I knew I shouldn't have been messing with that person. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You was the person that betrayed your own principles of what you knew was right. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, in your family, you may have one Judas. At your school, there may be a whole other person that's Judas. And the way they betray you is a whole other way. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's that polarity and that duality, you know what I'm saying? But it's also dealing with, they say the microcosm and the macrocosm, but it's microcosms and macrocosms. You understand what I'm saying? So, meaning,
like there's levels to this.
Yeah. See what I mean? Meaning, like, look, you got a room in your house, right? That's a microcosm of the macrocosm of the whole house. Mm-hmm. But then the whole house is a microcosm of the macrocosm of the neighborhood.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? And you know, all the different levels count.
So it's basically how you breaking down the chair of the molecules and the compounds in the chair.
Exactly.
All coming together to make one.
Right. You see what I'm saying? And then how when we draw it up, right? It depends on how we looking at it. Meaning if we look at it with a microscope, right, then we're gonna see all the atoms. If we look at it with the naked eye, then we're gonna see the plastic and the screws. You see what I mean? But then if we get far away and we look at it with a telescope, it's just gonna look like a part of the planet. Like right now, when you look at Venus in a telescope, you don't see all the different little stuff. You just see Venus. You know, unless you had a powerful enough telescope. I don't know if they got that kind yet. You know, if they did, I don't know why they going over there. You understand what I'm saying?
It's like being on a plane and looking down.
Right. You see it in a different perspective, right?
Yeah.
You know, the people look like ants.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then when you get up on them, it looks totally different. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, especially getting back to what I was saying before too, you know, when you're dealing with children and, you know, having to teach them to see on all these levels. You know what I mean? Before, that's why I say the wisest of men learn from other people. You see what I mean? Because, you know, you try to teach them before they get into the error stage, before, you know, things get messed up. That's where you want to, you know, get these lessons to them about life because, you know, especially, you know, for us, you know, we call it the belly of the beast. You know what I'm saying? You know, when people get locked up or whatever, you know, you got to help them avoid the teeth. You understand what I'm saying? Before, you know, you got to be digested down in order to get to the belly. You see what I mean? So what is those first steps and stages, you see what I mean, to stop a person from even getting in there? You see what I'm saying? In order to do that, we was taught this system, you know, of supreme mathematics and how to apply it to everything that exists. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning, you know, it's you know, it's universal for people to you know, use mathematics in order to draw up relationships. You understand what I mean? Meaning like you know, say the time that you came here, right? You know, I could have just said, well, yeah, it's gonna be on Monday. It's gonna be kind of late, but not too late. You can't really tell too much by it. You understand what I'm saying? You know, yeah, because I don't know even what time you get up. Was late in reference to your schedule.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Man, you understand what I'm saying? But see, if I say 6 o'clock, now that's exact. It ain't no mistake. See, it can be 5 o'clock, can be 7 o'clock. See, if I say late but not too late, it could be any time.
Yeah.
You see, if I say 6, it can be 5:30. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the same thing, you know, you come to 21-22 set of value. See, 21-22 is not 21-23.
Gotcha.
It's not 21-28. See, so this is a characteristic of supreme mathematics, right? That allows us to categorize everything else, see what categorize everything and see what it is and see how it relates to everything else.
So that's how when people speak of show and prove. The mathematics is the show and the prove. The proving in it, like, is basically being able to not only say it, but speak about it in an extent where, okay, I can break it down for even to the simplest form so somebody else can understand it. So it's like proving your point on top. Well, it's like knowing something and then proving how you got to that answer. Instead of just
mathematics allow you to do that. Yeah.
Okay, got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I've heard show and prove a lot, and I always wonder, like, does that mean basically show it and then prove that, okay, how did I get to this answer? And you're able to break it down to show that person, okay, how did I get to this answer? You know what I mean? Like, I can tell you that algebra problem, 6 times 6 equals 36. But how did you get to the answer to a little kid standpoint?
Right.
You understand? So it's basically like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's mathematics. To
It's supreme mathematics.
Okay.
You see what I mean? See, we call them supreme because they have meaning. You know what I'm saying? See, arithmetic that's just the mathematics without no meanings. You see what I'm saying? So, when you got a 1 in arithmetic, it just means the quantity of 1. You understand what I'm saying? When you got 1 in supreme mathematics, you're talking about the principle of knowledge. You see what I'm saying? See, without the meaning, you know what I'm saying? Just like any of the topics we was talking about, we talking about Christianity. See, we go in there and we learning the stories without really knowing the meaning of any of this stuff. You see what I'm saying? So we just, believing in it blindly.
just
You know what I'm saying?
what we heard.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what, showing and proving is, you know what I'm saying, is to actually you hit the word on the head, you know what I mean, in terms of, anybody can say anything. You know what I'm saying? But can you really go to the foundation, right, of this thing and demonstrate? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, how this whole thing, what we call going to born. You know what I'm saying? Going from knowledge to born, from the foundation, right? And to the point where it's manifested so everybody in the world can see it. You know what I mean? Like, so you might have an idea in your head. Everybody can't see that. You know what I mean? Just like, you plant a seed in a woman, right? Get her pregnant. Everybody can't see it until a certain point. You understand what I'm saying? And then even, you see her stomach, is big, but you still don't know if it's going to be a boy or a girl. You don't know if it's tall or short. All of these things is going to be revealed at the end of the 9 months.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Now can you go back to the foundation, right? And show all of the steps that it went through in order to be born. You understand what I mean? So the same thing, we having a conversation right now, or the book you said you read where people were speaking about their experiences and the knowledge, right? What those stories represent, you know what I'm saying, is them showing and proving their history of coming into this, you know what I'm saying, and why they say they are who they are. You understand what I'm saying? Like, look, there's never been a time, right, and that I could recall that I didn't know somebody that would call themselves Jesus or Moses. You know what I'm saying? Now, 99.95% of them people was crazy.
What do you mean?
Meaning they was mentally disturbed. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was that movie when a dude came in, right? He walked into the precinct. he said, the dude said, yo, what's your name? He said, he's Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? He walked into the precinct, so the desk sergeant is right there. The dude said, Jesus Christ. So the dude said, where you from? He said, Bethlehem. He said Bethlehem. So then the dude said, man, come on, man. Listen, man, what you want, man? He said, yeah, you got a quarter so I can get some coffee. Yeah, that was a movie. I can't recall. SW is in here, 793rd. Oh, that was the Mac? Yeah. So, yeah, it was
called The Mac?
Yeah, a movie called The Mac that came out back in the 70s. But that's what I'm saying. It's always been somebody that I know like that. You understand what I'm saying? But okay, what are you saying now? How show and prove that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To see like, when you walk over to a person and they say they God, you understand what I mean? All right, show and prove that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because John, I can't remember his name outside I was speaking with.
Jamar?
Yeah, Jamar. He was saying before you, I guess, could put Allah or God on your name, you have to be able to show and prove, I guess, the 120 or something to that extent.
Nah, you need to be able to
Recite it or
memorization
or something.
Nah, you just gotta be able to well, the first thing you gotta do, you know what I'm saying, and this is like in order of proving it, you know what I mean? Before you prove it something, you gotta kinda know it. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The first step in proving who you are, right, is kind of coming to a realization of what's been going on. You know what I'm saying? The reality of life itself. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, me and you, we come out the Christian world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we already had a certain concept of God, that God is a magical white man that exists in the sky.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? The first thing you got to be able to do is accept that, yeah, all of that's BS. You understand what I'm saying? Now, a lot of times what we do, right, is we confuse the religion with the church, or at least I did, to where I came to a point of knowing that what they were saying in the church wasn't right. But I still believe that there was some magical being somewhere. You understand what I'm saying? See, that's the first thing you got to be able to accept. That, listen, man, if there was a magical being that exists somewhere, that you're supposed to be saving me from all this, would you let me get in this for in the first place?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's things that happen. Like, look, I don't know if you had if the Jacobs brother, right, in Kenosha, I don't know if you had some lesson you wanted to prove to him, like he's some type of sinner. But why'd you have to let him get shot in front of his kids? Why'd you have to ruin a whole other? You understand what I'm saying? Or look, even with everybody, this is something that this is one of the reasons I love Christianity. Why are we paying for the sins of some people we don't know who they are, man? Like, I understand Adam and all that, but he's the one that ain't listen. Why I'm paying for it? Now listen, you already kicked him out the Garden of Eden. What am I paying for? Did he already pay for that? Now hold up. Then you killed everybody.
That's what gets me.
You killed everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
For their sins. Why are we still paying? Why? Because of this? You left one. Who you left? Ham? You left. What you left him for? Who's the one that was cursed?
Oh yeah. It was him.
That's what I'm saying. What you left him for? Because supposedly he's cursed because he's making fun of his father. But did you know the type of nigga he was already?
That's the thing that gets me. Like, if he's an all-knowing person, he knows that this can happen. Like, why not stop him?
Yeah, why? Yeah, if you was taking out all the negative people, why didn't you take him out already?
That would be preventative maintenance,
But then hold up, it's not over. Then Jesus supposedly died for our sins. So why are we still paying? Why we still? Yes, I mean, see, now once these things start to break down, like I said, for me, another thing, it might seem silly.
No, it
but
makes sense.
One of the things that, when I saw Jaws and Orca. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm trying to understand, the story of Jonah and the whale from that perspective. Like I'm going to school and I'm learning about the digestive system and all these acids and everything in your stomach. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm wondering how this thing right here could have been possible. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then, once you come to the point of realizing, man, that all these saviors, whether they biblical, whatever, historical, they come from the people. Like Jesus came from the people and the condition of the people and how they was existed. That's what created him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have been going in the temple slapping people around. Which is another. Did I ever tell y'all about that science? Jesus was kind of a bully. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. In that time, right, the average person was only like 5'4", maybe not even. Jesus was 6 feet tall, went in the temple slapping people around, left out with blood on his robes. What would we call that if that happened? If that happened today?
Definitely.
You just come up in here, drop kicking cat, and then you wouldn't know why they had to call the Roman army on you. but it's the same thing with all the other people. Look, whether it's Jesus, whether it's Harriet Tubman, whether it's George Washington, George Washington was an American. Abraham Lincoln, yes, I mean, people don't come, in the comic books. Superman is from a whole different planet, and then he come over here and save us.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? But Moses, he was one of them. Any people who you seen was a savior, so then you accept, man, that the only savior that's coming for us is us.
Right.
You see what I mean? And now comes the part for you to show and prove, like, okay, now we've defined who the savior for us is. We've defined where our salvation is coming from, right? Now, what have you done to bring that about? See, that's showing improvement. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily the degrees. You know what I'm saying? But see, even from the jump, once you accept that there is no God, right, except you. You see what I'm saying? That's the beginning. Now that there's no God is but you, right? You went from, searching for who God is, you know what I'm saying? Or praying to God, maybe you thought you knew who he was, to now you agree that you the only God, right? But then somebody's got to come to these people's aid. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the reality of these stories that they telling you. That look, there's evil people in the world and they doing, all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And there's people out there that have the knowledge and the strength in order to save you. You know what I'm saying? That's every religion. You know what I'm saying? That's why they, you pray to God or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Jesus, whether it's Yahweh, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's Zeus, you know what I'm saying? People are expecting salvation from this being right here. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's really, you know what I'm saying, how you prove who you are. You know what I'm saying? When people start to see the change in you, right? From when you lack knowledge to the knowledge that you have right now.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The lessons, that's another thing that's gonna help you develop. You know what I'm saying? The lessons is like say like you got a baby, right? They got arms and legs, but they don't know how to control it. But they already got the power, you know what I'm saying? The power to grab things, to manipulate matter and everything. It already exists within them. But they have to practice in order to be able to master that power. You understand what I mean? In order to be able, when they young, they scratching themselves in the face because they don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? But over time, they learn how to control that science, you know what I mean? And they become masters of it to where, they can get up and walk without thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like you notice when they first learning how to walk, when they stand up, you can see they doing it. Like they trying to remember how they did it last time. Like you ever see them and they steady and they want to walk, but they can't exactly recall how they take that first step. Yeah. And then they after a while, see, that's how you deal with mathematics. The mathematics is like the arms and the legs that you already got. And the 120 is going to help you exercise them. You see what I mean? Till you get a mastery of it, to where you know what I'm saying. But see that in the lessons, look, like I said, the lessons tell you about God and the devil. So you can master that and just master all the parts that the devil did. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But in order to really show and prove who you are, you know what I'm saying, it's about the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? On that level. Like I said, a lot of things, verbal, everything that we deal with verbal, is kind of practice for, it's kind of practice for the things we're going to have to activate on physically. You understand what I'm saying? But in reality, when we talking, that's showing and telling.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Showing and proving is really, you got to do something. You understand what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong, speaking is an action. And for some people, that's the action that's needed. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like if when you go to school, you don't know what 2 + 2 is. The teacher telling you what 2 + 2 is, you understand what I mean, is the action that's needed for you to be successful. So when you're dealing with a situation like that, where you speaking to somebody who don't know, and you taking them through the different examples, you understand what I mean? It's like, I might give you an example of something that you wrote down, you know what I'm saying? Now you can go look that up to prove whether I know what I'm talking about or not. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But in order to really prove something, you know what I'm saying, it's about action. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you begin, one of the first things we do, to deal with that type of proof, you know what I'm saying, is fasting 3 days. So we fast for 3 days before we get the lessons because, people coming out the religious traditions is not taught to understand their power. You know what I mean? Especially their mental power, their emotional power, your ability to control matter. That's a characteristic of God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you deal with religion, you know what I'm saying? But when you're able to discipline the mind, right, to a condition where it can discipline the body, you understand what I mean? You prove something to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you dealt with dietary law, but, for most of us, if we coming out the Christian world or whatever, not eating for 3 days seems a little bit unfathomable. You understand what I mean? But this is one of the first things where you begin to see, and also where you begin to build up your mind power, because, especially like a lot of stuff we started talking about at the beginning of, in society and how you indoctrinate it is, they cause your mental powers to atrophy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
you say that word again?
Atrophy.
Atrophy.
Yeah. No, Atrophy.
Okay.
Atrophy, it means to get smaller.
To get smaller.
Yeah. Like when they say if you don't use it, you'll lose it.
Mm-hmm.
That's atrophy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody come out of jail, they are big and they get their muscles atrophy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or somebody break their arm and they arm come out skinny at first. It was atrophy while it was in the cast because they wasn't using it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with your mental powers. You see what I'm saying? So look at entertainment, right? If I give you a book to read, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your mind power has to be activated in order for the book to really mean something to you. You know what I mean? Like when it describes the person, you have to see that picture for yourself. When it say this person said that, you have to picture for yourself. You got to hear it for yourself how that person sounds. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if I tell you the same exact story, right, that you read, but I put it on the radio, now, okay, you still got to picture the people, but you don't got to picture, you don't have to hear the sound no more because the sound is given to you. So that's less imagination that you had to use.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's funny. Cause
now, if I put it on TV, now you got the picture and the sound, right? It's very little now. You the only thing you gotta imagine is what happened in between the scenes or whatever, man. You know, but it's not much you gotta imagine now. Now they're taking your picture, right? What we say, understand is a clear mental picture, right? So your ability to see a clear mental picture is atrophied because you didn't have to work on it. You understand what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Now you got the computer. You understand what I mean? Where you even get feedback and everything. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at the fact that your imagination is your creative power, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
They cause your creative power to atrophy. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing we're talking about with discipline of fasting 3 days, you know, with all of the consumerism that exists, you see what I mean? We don't have that kind of discipline.
Is that just fasting from food or is it fasting from?
Well, we fast from food for 3 days, but you're right. You gotta learn how to fast from everything.
Yeah. Because the thing is, okay, so I don't eat meat or nothing like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I know about the whole fasting because the business that I run is helping people with their health. So I understand the whole fasting. That's why I'm asking, is it just food you discipline yourself in, or is it like different aspects? Because say for instance, I might smoke cigarettes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is it more of a discipline of learning how to discipline yourself for that, or it won't control you? And you have the control over everything.
It's the same thing, but it's one of the things where, you know, how a person, you know, they might have discipline in this,
mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they might, you know, they might be vegan and they might be a crackhead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you gotta learn mastery on all them different levels. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Because of, you know, whatever it is. You know what I mean? If you can't, you know, just exist without that certain stimulant right there, then you need to show and prove to yourself that you can master that. You see what I'm saying? Some people need to fast from the internet. Not the people in my room right here, yo. Y'all don't fast.
Yeah. No, but it's a valid point of what you were saying with the fasting for things and how reading and then the picture or the sound and then the sound and the picture. Because if you think about it, like for instance with reading, we read a book and it activates your imagination, like you were saying. Mm-hmm. And that's what I tell my daughter. I say, if you read a book, it gives you the imagination. It makes you have to draw that picture until you see the movie. They already painted the picture for you. Mm-hmm. And it's the same way. Like now with reading with the internet, like you said, people can give you feedback, but at the same time, instead of going to research the knowledge, people just give you any kind of knowledge. It don't even have to be true. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They'll give you a minimum real quickly. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's 3 senses. And now I already know about this now.
Yeah.
Well, you don't really know nothing about it.
And you've been taught through all of this because you don't got to think as much. Like, back in the days, right? Everybody had 50 numbers on cap.
Yeah.
Like when a person is actually, as soon as you put that number in the telephone, you ain't gonna recall it. You see what I mean? So they caused our brains to atrophy a little bit in that way.
Gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying? Is all different ways. Like even, back in the days, like in New York, right? Every block that you went on, they played games a little bit different. And everybody didn't even say eeny, meeny, miny, mo the same way.
Yeah.
But see, now that you got video games, right? Everybody play the same game all over the world. It's not your imagination. Whoever's those people that design the software, whatever they imagine is the only possibilities that you have in the game.
Somebody else will tell your own reality.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so they thinking for you.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So exactly what you were saying, but I'm saying that all of these powers have been atrophied. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And see, that's one of the reasons why people don't. That's why we go through the lessons like that, because our minds had to be activated.
And I can agree with you with the fasting, and like I said, with me eating and fasting, I can agree with you. You do have a clearer thought process, and your mind is not as cloudy because understanding the body, like the mucus and the parasites in your body, like all of that pushes out, and now you can see things, and you're not. Mm-hmm. After you fast, it's like you're not craving things of the world no more. You can see things much clearer than what they really are. And the crazy thing is, when I'm thinking about it, that's how. So, what made me start on this journey of eating healthy is my uncle. He had diabetes or whatever. So I was like 240. I used to work in the club scene. So I was like, okay, I want to lose some weight, but also I want to help him. And he was like 300 pounds. So I wanted to help him. So we went on a whole month of eating just fruits, vegetables, beans, and nuts for a whole month. Nothing else. So I'm gonna tell you, in like 6 months, I lost like 70. He lost like 100. But the thing was, that's where my thought process started. My thought process started with wanting to learn about something different than what the normal was. Like, I mean, I started putting my mind up to something different, and it was because I was able to clean out myself from all the other stuff. Like, I ain't ate pork in like 18 years, but the beef and all that stuff, I was really able to clean it out though. And those like fasting, like I would do I think the most I did was 2 days of fasting. But it gave me like this whole clearer like thought process. I was aware. That's the word I went. Right. I was much more aware of things.
Because look, you eating, a lot of people just putting stuff in their mouth subconsciously, unconsciously, not consciously. Yeah. You understand what I mean? You became more conscious, you see what I mean, of something that you was dealing with. You see what I mean? Just like look, and there's another thing that, newer people that might come, 5% they nitpick over words. See what I'm saying? Like, see, if you just listen to music and you hear the record, right? When what's that record with Raekwon where he said the sun don't chill a lot, it was just a record. It was a nice line in the record. But see, at the time when I was getting the knowledge, you know what I mean, chill, that was the word. Like that's everybody was using that word. Yo, what y'all doing? Yeah, we was chilling. No. People would say, what y'all doing? Oh, we was chilling. Oh, what's going on over there? Or everything chill. You see what I'm saying? You just speaking it, and then it just got to the point where, that's how slang is. Somebody walk up, yo, what's going on? Chilling. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That could just open a whole can of worms. You know what I'm saying? At that time, for the 5%, but when we said that was like something was like, yo, you chilling. This is like something where like, yo, the guys, we don't chill because we the sun. You know what I'm saying? On the record, it's just a line. But at one time, that was kind of serious. You understand what I'm saying?
Serious meaning that y'all don't say chill.
Yeah, serious meaning that we about to, it's about to be a discussion over why you're using the word chilling. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's why, a lot of the brothers that's in the room right now, they probably grew up with the word maintaining. That's a lot of brothers start saying like, yeah, we maintaining.
Yeah.
But then maintaining is really not all that great either. But it wasn't just a point of nitpicking over the words, you becoming conscious of what you're saying.
The words are spells. Spelling, spells.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, and just, just sometimes you talking out of turn, you know what I'm saying? You talking, babies might be around, all these different things of some people just do things subconsciously without knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like crackheads, they wake up in the morning and they just go buy crack. They don't really analyze it.
Yeah.
They don't, you understand what I'm saying? So like I said, dealing with the whole situation of lack of knowledge. Like, look, in one of the simplest forms, see, the Europeans knew about us. We didn't know about them.
They studied us.
They knew about us. We didn't know the dudes in the Nigeria and Congo and places. They didn't know about them. But see, when the Europeans came, they already knew. They knew what language they speak. They know how much money they got. They knew all that.
What type of people we were.
Yeah.
That's how they was so easily able to conquer us.
Yeah. And they knew
that
not
even conquer us, how they was able to even
penetrate
our systems at first.
Right. Penetrate our systems.
Wow, when you think about it, they've been doing that for a long time. When you think about every organization we had, they've done that.
Yeah.
Black Panther Party, they were able to infiltrate the system. Like they always was able to do it because they'll study us from afar. But we not even paying attention to or even studying them and their movement.
Being unconscious.
Yeah, got you.
You understand what I'm saying? That's why they say sleep is the cousin of death.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Because you 180 degrees in both of them.
Oh shit.
You see what I mean? And you unconscious. You see what I'm saying? Of what is going on around you. So that's why even when people is awake, they say, yo, don't sleep. You understand what I'm saying? As you stand up perpendicular. You see what I mean? That's what they say is being on your square. You know what I mean? Even when you look at those pictures of evolution, right? Or even when you just look at animals, you know what I'm saying? The animals that's like this, their back is like this. You know what I'm saying? They're not too smart. And then the more your back straightens up like this right here, the more intelligent the animal is. Yeah. You see what I mean? That's actually one of the characteristics of man, right? Is that they walk erect. They conscious, right? Sapiens means consciousness. You know what I'm saying? And they walk erect. You see what I'm saying? So, that's, just on that level, but it's the actual being conscious, not just saying conscious as in you sentient, you know what I'm saying? Like when you look in the mirror, that's you. That's a level of consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? But being conscious of everything that you're doing. You see what I'm saying? Even in terms of being conscious of your dreaming even. You understand what I'm saying? Now if you conscious of what's going on in your mind right? And you conscious of what's going on when you awake, now you conscious 24 hours. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But a lot of things that people is doing, whole lifestyles that people is in, they unconscious about how they got involved. You know how many people is in gangs now, they don't even know they was recruited. Like they might realize now that 30 years in.
Yeah.
But to them, nah, I started being in the game. Nah, son, they been watching you for years. they was just waiting. They was just waiting till the right time came to introduce you, man. But they were already been watching. Oh yeah, that little kid over there, he's tough. Or that kid over there, nah, he not. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But because you're not conscious, see, if you don't have enough conscious ideas in your head, right? Then you just kind of going with the flow. And see what happens with that is there's other people that's conscious, right? And they need flunkies for their ideas. And if you don't have your own determined ideas, you're gonna become one of the flunkies in their plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Especially once you get in a society like we exist in right now where, it's dog eat dog. Where, it ain't really a lot of it ain't a lot of leeway. It ain't like, we over here doing this thing, but you can go over there and do your own thing. Nah, don't worry about that.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, all these things is the root, knowledge is infinite. So, when you come into a conversation, you see the guys talking, you hear us talking, we might be talking about anything.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But at the root of it, you know what I'm saying, is that right there. In the immediate, to save ourselves, you know what I'm saying, and then keep going up from there. Save our families, save our communities, you know what I'm saying? And as it goes up and up and up, and as there's more and more of us that's taking part in that, you see what I'm saying? We end up saving the planet.
And the black man back in the original spot.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's where the discrepancy, between a lot of different, is what is the black man's natural spot. You know what I mean? Like right now, there's a kind of idea out there that, you don't want to deal with, reverse racism, or, just like put like this, with our family that's Christian, they see their, proper spot is, at the hand of God or whatever, in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's what's unique about the 5%. You know what I'm saying? Is that we teach that the black man is God, the black woman is earth. You understand what I mean? The fathers and mothers of civilization. You see what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, certain things is in our nature and certain things is not in our nature. And this is one of the things that's been exploited for the last 1,000 years. You know what I'm saying? Is that the colored man is just able to exploit a lot of things. There's a certain gullibility factor. There's a certain forgiveness factor. You know what I'm saying? All of these different things that's just a part of our nature. You know what I mean? Like when you look right now in Africa, and you see that the Chinese people is over there putting them through the same indoctrination that the Greeks put them through, that the Romans put them through, that the French and the British and the Germans and the Belgians. You understand what I'm saying? And now they going for it again. You understand what I'm saying? Or just like, the last person was the brother in Kenosha that got shot. And his mom's was on there talking about, You know, I pray for the officers and you know, all of this that's a part of you know, our nature that has been being exploited. You know what I'm saying? Like you got you know, people in Europe, you got people in Europe never liked each other. Thousands of years. Never liked each other from the time when they was in their tribes. And they still don't like each other. You understand what I'm saying? You know, for you know, black people, we not like that. You know, for whatever reason, you know, you could let a little couple months pass and we back good with, you know, whatever.
The same situation.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
And that's true, man. Because we could be ass out broke, and we can have a, like I said, come up. We can make some money, but we'll go spend it just for a filled up moment and be back in that same position.
Yeah.
Not even realize that. And it's a cycle, and we keep doing. We can just go, for example, like income tax. Like we'll take income tax, go splurge on it,
Mm-hmm.
and be back in the same position 3 months later,
Mm-hmm.
and stressed out back again. And it's like you could have did something different, but at least put something to the side. You know what I mean? Like it's a mentality where it's a cycle of keep going and keep going. It's like who was it? Frederick Douglass said he didn't start getting his freedom until he got off his knees praying until he started standing up.
Mm-hmm.
And he said praying till like he was on his knees, and then I forgot the whole quote, but first he was on his knees and then he got up and started fighting basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's when, but like you were saying, like we don't fight. We rather pray and march and protest. Or we'll fight, but we'll fight amongst each other. Like we'll kill each other quickly.
Right.
But then with this, like we won't, like, because even to the mentality, like I can't fathom the concept, and I try to, like, we can see a black man get murdered, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see have all these people have a camera, but nobody does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody with all these cameras. You can have 8 people out there with a camera.
And you know, I'm gonna tell you something that's not natural about that. Animals don't react like that. Like, look, it can even be roaches. If you kill one roach, the rest of them get out of it.
Yeah.
And other animals, they react to their own kind being killed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And either they're gonna get out of there or they're gonna help.
Yeah, right. Or they gonna form up and attack. You know what I mean?
Sit there
If you kill a bee, the rest of them is coming to holler at you.
But wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the way it's breaking down, like
that's something about our nature. I don't.
Yeah, because you could even think about it with our in our neighborhoods, right? Like we'll see somebody getting jumped by 6 guys, 1 guy and 6 guys, and we'll sit there and look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of this guy like, yo, man, this, like I don't know what somebody did. 6 guys against 1, never. 1-on-1. And that's how it should be, 1-on-1. Like 6 guys, 1 guy. But we will watch and look at it and see that one person get dogged out. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, watch it.
See, unfortunately, man, you know, that's another characteristic of ours is, you know, identifying with people. And to a large degree, you know, we've identified, you know, not consciously, but we've identified with some of the worst parts of, you know, kind of the racist mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, we live it out in to a higher degree, you know, like put like this. You know, you could take you know, just take, you know, lately I've been talking a lot about New York and Chicago. Because New York and Chicago has been a little, you know, I was you know, I'm disappointed in how easily they fed into this beefing with each other at a time like this right now. You know. But if you take the summer that we had here in New York, right? Mm-hmm. The Klan could not, in their wildest imagination, have hurt that many brothers. Never. We take out more of us, every week than they might have took out in a year.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, even in terms of, I might see you in a white neighborhood and leave you alone because you see what I mean? And it's been implanted in me so much that my neighborhood and the people here don't count, right? That I'm willing to shoot up 1-year-old babies, to get at this guy over here. But I would have never did that in a year.
Yeah. And that's crazy. Like, even like to a certain extent, like, we will have a altercation in our neighborhood knowing that the police does things to us, but we'll still go run and say we're gonna call the cops and bring them into our neighborhood instead of us policing ourselves. Mm-hmm. Like to understand that is we need to understand, like, okay, if we're in a neighborhood and we don't want this kind of stuff, why don't we police ourselves? Like, why don't we start with ourselves? Right? You know what I mean?
See, there's certain things that I don't really subscribe to the theories that there's certain, there's residual things from the plantation. Like, you got a lot of people that they like, people do this because of slavery. Nah, that's kind of crazy to me. I'm not saying that it's nothing that's like that, but what I'm saying is that it's not that this is something that's residual from slavery. It's that this is something that started happening in slavery and never stopped.
True.
And now people is reacting to it the same way.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So, there's always been rewards for that. You know what I'm saying? There's always been meritorious manumission for going to tell the white man.
Got you.
You see what I'm saying? And every step of the way, I'm saying that maybe the name of the law changed. You know what I mean? Maybe the policy under which it's done is different.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that system where, look, if you tell us that the brother's trying to make a move, we're gonna look out for you. This, look at 6ix9ine. There's always been meritorious manumission. Yes, I mean, yeah, it started in slavery.
It's still us looking at them as our saviors.
Right. Because that's never changed either. You understand what I'm saying? Rather, it's in my time, it was that, look, they're gonna let us into their marvelous schools and we're gonna get this fantastic education, and then that's how we're gonna deal with equality. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the meantime, intelligence and education has been on a steady decline since they started doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you look, I'm saying, like, and we laugh about this a lot on my live stream. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the people that was produced out of those segregated schools, right? When you look at some of the people that was produced just out of our communities that never even went to school, you know what I mean? And maybe they didn't know calculus, right. But when you look at their intelligence and what they did, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. As opposed to, you watch some of these CNN shows or something where they had a token Negro on it, and he's talking, look, he got degrees from all over the country, dumb as nails. Right. You know what I'm saying?
That's fact, though. That's fact.
You see? So,
because even to that point, like, before the segregation, like, we was doing, well, the black community was doing better in education than the white community was anyway. Like, we was growing at a higher rate and educating our kids at a higher rate. It wasn't until we got together that we became dumber in the process of, because we started taking their information instead of growing our own information. You know what I mean? Like organically teaching us what they learn from experience. Like from the field, okay, this is what you need to know in life, and this is how you need to understand it and how to maneuver. But then they put us in their school system and put us all together. Then what? They gave us their understanding of things.
Yeah.
But we forgot our whole understanding of who we were
right
at the same time.
And then see too with that, another thing, it takes approximately 20 to 30 years, about 30 years, right, to counteract an event or a state of mind. Meaning, if you start with Reconstruction, right, in 1860s, right, by 1890, the Klan is back roaming around and Reconstruction is over. You understand what I'm saying? You know, specifically speaking on the education thing, right? Brown versus Board of Education, that was like 1955 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to integrate the schools into the 70s. Like the law was passed, but they had X amount of time before they had to execute the plan.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And during that time, they came up with ways to negate any benefit that might come from that. You see what I'm saying?
No. So you said they came up with a plan to negate any benefits that come from what? That
came from Brown versus Board of Education.
Okay.
Like, see, there was really no like special ed and stuff like that until it was integration.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Behavioral problems, you understand what I'm saying, became a different kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Where, before that, two kids get in a fight or whatever, they just break it up. You know what I'm saying? But once you had integration, now this is a reason that you got to be suspended from school, expelled. You know what I'm saying? All of these different things was ways that, we're gonna eliminate people from the system. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna eliminate people from, at least their system of education that was benefiting them to a great degree, at that time.
Sure.
Right now it's a little bit different, but at that time, you know what I'm saying, that was a major source of building wealth. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the that's another thing that's been used. Like we can't say slaves no more. You understand what I mean? But we come up with other words and terminologies and ideas, what they say, the dog whistling and all of that, right? To still keep you separated from the wealth and the prosperity. You see what I'm saying? So, and even that's a certain thing. Like if you Italian, then your family story is that somebody in your family came here looking for a better life and education for y'all and all of this stuff. Black people here don't got that story. No. Not if your family is, historically here. Maybe if you just came here recently, that's your story. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? But for all of those things, in order to negate things, you know what I'm saying, it takes them about 20 or 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Like from the time, you had, like we talking about integration, right? If you count 30 years from there, prison industrial complex is peaking.
That's what I was thinking about when you was talking about that. That's how the pipeline, the prison thing.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
The behavior, like you were saying, and the special education suspension. It was like, okay, so how can we transfer them out
Right.
of this
We
education?
need a place. We need a way to get them back in the place where they was
Legal.
legally.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so that's what they do. Anytime you see a certain amount of change that it might be for the people or it might be something good, you understand what I mean? If you look like 20 or 30 years down the line, you know what I'm saying? They figured out ways to counteract whatever benefit it might be
But
without doing the same thing.
And it only affects us in the worst way, though, which we don't realize.
Yeah, because it becomes more and more intricate.
But we don't look at it as that, though, because we might look at it as, okay, they're weeding out the bad ones from the good ones, right? That's what I think it is when they're weeding out. But we don't want us getting pushed to another thing. You know what I mean? Like we want us getting misled.
Yeah.
While they're still growing, they're not going to prison. They're growing in wealth. They're growing all this, but we're getting pushed into the prison system, and we're not even seeing it because we're going along with it. Like, yeah, get rid of those bad ones. You know what I mean? Instead of understanding, okay, they're not really bad. They just needed a little bit more, we could say, love, a little bit more care, a little bit more time. Take the time to, you know what I mean? Like just a little bit more of that. But no, we don't look like that because we're going with their ideology of they're bad. So let's get rid of them.
Yeah. And you know, we was discussing that on here too, that what's going on, love? We were discussing that in here too, how you know, you've had whole communities, right, that's been ruined by black people that's saying, look, I need to get away from these other black people and move in this other area. But see, the reality is, you was the element. You came over here with your badass kids that was already in the gang, and they spread that shit over here. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Started selling weed. It's communities all over the country that's been ruined like that. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these places where you see, look, you know, it's going on over there. You look back, you know, the 70s and 60s, those areas was beautiful. And it's still happening today. Certain areas where it's like, you know, like look, even when Mike Brown got shot, it was like Ferguson, that was like a white suburb, you know, not even turned into the hood. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like you said, now the situation is what? It means that you actually gotta correct yourself. You gotta, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Correct your, you know, your own community. You know what I'm saying? Which is something that.
But wait, somebody else to do it. And that's the whole thing. Come back to we looking for a savior to do it, so let's do it ourselves. Like it always wraps back around to we never correct ourselves. We never check the men in our neighborhood for the bullshit they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But see, that's because they keep eliminating the men. You see, a certain segment of people that's doing crime, right, is the non-conformists. They're the people that you really can't indoctrinate me into this right here.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? Like whatever it is y'all doing, I'm not going to do that. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, a certain segment of those people are the leaders. You understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, you're dealing with a situation where, you know, you got places, you know, certain neighborhoods where, you know, you could be an OG and be, you know, 18, 19, 20 years old. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you don't, you know, and you're seen as the men of the community. You see what I'm saying? So there's no men around to actually perform that function, or either they've been incapacitated in some other way.
Gotcha.
That in this society, they won't be seen as a leader. You see what I mean? Because, you know, in the things that you know, people is following somebody, but what you following them for is not because they're a leader. You following them because they got a good enough position in the white supremacy. You see what I mean? That you look up to them. But in terms of them really being a leader and really saying, all right, we're gonna have this set of principles right here, right, for our survival, then that's not, that's not going, that's but that's, see, everything that they do is not necessarily they plan, but one thing I give them, they great at improvising. Whatever happens, they will take advantage.
Mm-hmm. Opportunities.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, all these are the different situations that we find ourselves in. That's the part where I'm telling you, that's the true test of somebody understanding 120. How many times are you getting caught up in all the different pitfalls that we name? Because you can say you got, but if you get caught up in all them pitfalls we just named, you don't have no plan to get out of none of those. Get out of the way of any of those freight trains. Mm-hmm. Then you're not showing improvement. You're subject to a mental death and power. So what we got? What's going on over here in the room? In the y'all must have finished. Y'all must have completed your side rallies. The guy IB said these places become the hood by design. Yeah, that's and I heard they got it's a new name that's out right now. Matter of fact, Smell Goods. What do you know about urban renewal in Washington, D.C. in the 60s? It came up last night, but you had already left. They have different names for it now. But I think urban renewal, I think, is back. Yeah, Smell Goods. I was reading before how they had like shacks that people was living in alleys in Washington D.C. up until like the late '60s or something.
You said black people living in the shack?
Yeah, like they basically, because you know why it's a lot of black people in D.C., right? When after the Civil War was over, you know, uh, a lot of black people already knew that the white people was going to start wilding out. So they figured, look, let me go by Abraham Lincoln. You understand what I'm saying? And maybe we'll be able to, not get lynched.
So they thought he was.
And yeah, they figured, yeah, Abraham Lincoln must got some plan for us. So they went to D.C.
But his plan wasn't to say. His plan was never to free the slaves.
Right.
It had nothing to do with that.
Exactly. So they ended up being there in the same poverty as they was everywhere else in the South. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, they really didn't have no plan for them. You know what I mean? Because Abraham Lincoln thing was, look, I'm just trying to save the union.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If I didn't have to free them, I wasn't free. You see what I'm saying? But it was because the reason it came up yesterday is because Smell Good is crazy. He said people live in tents right now in parks under the underpasses to this day.
That's true.
Yeah, but this was about urban renewal and about they was talking about how different the projects got in different cities, you know what I'm saying, was that in a lot of places that there was a part of the land, a part of a city that might have been desirable for whatever reason. Maybe they wanted to expand the downtown area over there. Maybe they wanted to gentrify it with some different people or whatever. So they would come in and they would designate this area as a slum. You know what I'm saying? And then they would destroy all the housing over there, right? Build projects and move all those people into the projects. You know what I'm saying? And then, renew the area and gentrify it however they wanted to be gentrified.
They're
Yes.
still doing that though.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But in DC, you know what I'm saying, it was particularly the reason why it came up is that it was embarrassing to the United States government. You know what I mean? Because it was DC, right? Once it gets to the post World War II era, you got diplomats coming from all over the world coming to America. You know what I'm saying? And when they get there, they see in this condition like, yo, y'all all over the world telling people about how they oppressing their people, and y'all got people living like that. So yeah, that was one of the reasons that they went into urban renewal in DC. But you're right about that though, Smell, because the people living in tents, man, they back up here too. But they not even in the park. They right on the ave. But yeah, that's one of those what's the names, and then that's where the redlining and all that comes into play at. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, we renew the area, but then we redlined it. So then even a couple of people might have had the loot to get one of the new places. You understand what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so all those things go hand in hand with the history. But yeah, what's going on in the room? Y'all got is there any questions today? Or did y'all y'all just dealing with y'all tangents today? Side rallies is heated up. Did everyone do the each one teach one? Hit the like button. Share this on your Facebook and Twitter.
What is this? What channel is this?
This is Darkim be AllahChrist.
Spell it.
DARKIM BEALLAHCHRIST.
That's your name?
Yeah. You said a lot of displaced vets. Yeah, I've been noticing that, man. They treat the vets, man. I mean, I've never known the vets to really get good treatment.
They've been treated as guinea pigs to a certain extent.
Yeah. In my whole lifetime, the vets have always been treated poorly. Except for my uncle, because he got game.
But a lot of
one of them anyway.
Some of these vets, they peeping game now, and they're able to get out of it with some kind of thing with injury or whatever. You know what I mean? And to hit the system for money, but for the most part, I feel like they just use them as guinea pigs because I have cousins that got to get in the army, and what happens is they're the one that first get tested from all these medicines that they start using and things like that. They the one that get tested first. They the one that be testing them on in because they sign these waivers at the beginning.
To do all that. So
they already messed up because you already injected so much stuff in them. So when they come back inside, they really don't know how to work. And then you're gonna sit them somewhere else that could fuck up their mind. But they haven't even seen more like that. Like war at home is totally different than war in another country. You can see that. Like this is a park. Sometimes like a walk in the park to a certain extent to what's happening in other countries. And then you got them doing that and seeing this stuff and little kids at that time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you come back here, then they don't care. Just throw them away.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be more people, and you know what this entices them with? Education, free education. So you entice them with that. They keep going back. Keep going back. Oh, you're gonna get free healthcare. Keep going back. You know what I mean? You entice them with a little. They keep going back and just throw them away. More gonna come. It's just a rotation, man. That's all it's been. Because you think about it. When Muhammad Ali said, "Okay, I'm not going to the army. Why would I be fighting? I'm fighting for my people here, but we still go do it, not even understanding the concept that he was talking about at that point in time."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like, they treat him disgustingly, because like it's like to a certain extent that they're expendable. They feel like they're expendable because more people are still gonna come, so they don't care.
793rd, so you came up with some disturbing yet not surprising news, so to speak, on the sheriff in Kenosha. Job Guy said in the 60s and 70s, urban renewal devastated the river cities here in the Hudson Valley, Newburgh, Poughkeepsie, and Kingston. The riverfront areas were mostly original people with thriving businesses and homes.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Waleed Knowledge Guide and Brothers. This is where Waleed and Brothers traveled to after visiting the law in Mattawan.
I used to live in Monroe, New York, and they did definitely like Newburgh. I heard it was a nice area back in the days, but
yeah, I mean, Newburgh was. I remember when Newburgh was all right. Well, like, you know, I guess that's also a comparison to New York. You know, at that time, almost everywhere was a nice area.
Well, the thing about Newburgh, like, it's a beautiful place, though, man.
Yeah,
like that waterfront, the mountains hitting the background like that. That's just, it's just breathtaking, man.
Smell Good said, "Where can I meet women with the knowledge of themselves?" All right, now, this is gonna require a disclaimer here that this is a Hotep channel. Who's in here today? I don't because I don't think I should answer that. I'm just saying, y'all gonna make me mess up my channel, man. I don't know if I should answer that one, man. So 793rd said about 2 years ago, after a few original kids boosting got into a minor fender bender after taking chase, the good old sheriff literally said that they should be locked up so they can't have 10 kids. Oh yeah, I did hear about some of these statements that he made. And where he was saying that, yeah, some people need to just be locked up. I mean, like I said, in my opinion, I think we missed the boat on this one. I think we missed the boat. In terms of, like I said, there was a certain amount of unity and energy and everything that people had, you know what I'm saying, in 2020. There was a certain amount of, like I said, man, 2020 is perfect vision. There's a certain amount of people being able to see clearly. But then, like I said, when you really look at what's happening, just like I said, how it takes them like 20 or 30 years to roll back certain progress, you know what I'm saying? Just when you look at this year, how it's like, it started out with people not taking things on face value. Some people had, what I thought was crazy conspiracy theories, but they wasn't just taking on face value what they were seeing on the news about the coronavirus. You know what I mean? And then when different things was happening, you were seeing a certain amount of action, taking place. People was out there, everybody was discussing everything. But then it's like, all of a sudden now, like, remember in the beginning of the year, they was having presidential debates. And at every debate, it was, yo, so what's up with reparations?
Yeah.
Now you're not, that's what I'm saying. All that progress has been lost, you know what I mean? And now all this thing boils down to is, is LeBron playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And we're getting a second stimulus.
Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, it's that, yo, we didn't take that energy. You see what I mean?
We're accepting the small. Instead of talking about reparations, is way more. We accept the $1,200 stimulus check that they're gonna give us. So okay, here, have this, but we're gonna put this on the back burner. This whole reparation thing.
So see, look, see how you used to those statements that he made. Now, about 4 months ago, he got fired just for them statements right there.
What are you talking about?
The sheriff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? 4 or 5 months ago, you can't nah. But see, it's just showing you that things is going back to the status quo.
It is.
You understand what I'm saying?
You can see it. You definitely see it.
So I guess said you don't need no hookups, just a little interference. Look here, man. Hold on, let me answer Pizzy question first. maybe Pizzy got something ain't gonna cause me to lose my channel. Pizzy said, why do I always hear people say, what's the solution to our problems we deal with in America? I mean, because we haven't come up with the solution yet, in terms of, I don't know how old you are, you know what I mean? But, you can go back to Frederick Douglass. You know what I'm saying? If you read some Frederick Douglass speeches, or you could go back to Marcus Garvey, you could go back to, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and when, because you asked about the solutions, right? When you talk about the problems is the same. Now you can go back and listen to Martin Luther King talk about police brutality. You can go back and listen to Martin Luther King talk about poor housing, like we was just talking about. You can go back and listen to Martin Luther King talk about how, they not letting the brothers in the unions. You know what I'm saying? And brothers ain't getting, the same pay that they deserve. So the reality is like, yo, the problem is remaining the same. It's until we actually come up with a solution. So yeah, you're always gonna hear people say that because nothing has been the solution so far. We've had some band-aids, but we haven't really had a solution.
Sure.
SW is stupid. He said pay to play and study the Mac. My advice, smell goods, is stay away from them. You want to plan it, make your own planet. See, Christian said, is it that there was no solution or there hasn't been enough unification to accomplish the myriad of suggestions that have been proposed by our foreparents? Well, you got short-term solutions and long-term solutions. You know what I'm saying? And now we going a little bit more into just how I see it. You know, a lot of things that we dealing with, you know, the politics, the economics, you know what I'm saying? Those is solutions if you kind of like believe in the righteousness of colored people. You know what I'm saying? If you know, kind of like the Martin Luther King standpoint that, you know, we should appeal to these people's righteousness and the principles that they founded America on, as if they don't know that, yeah, we didn't mean that for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, it's not by accident. Like, it didn't slip our minds. You know what I'm saying? You know, so there has been some short-term solutions. You know what I'm saying? And in this case, maybe a long-term solution. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, definitely because of not just lack of unity, but from us being the main detractors a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things happen, you know, like look when Colin, what's his name? The football dude?
Oh, Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick. When he took a knee over the police brutality, right? Most people was like, it's foolish. You understand what I mean? How many people you had saying that? Now all of a sudden you want the world to stop because of police brutality. But maybe if you would have supported that first person, that's how I'd say all the time.
Yeah.
If Martin Luther King went out there and niggas was like, that's some nigga out there talking. You know what I mean? I got some place to go. I didn't take the bus. You know, if that had happened, would we know him like we know him now? So sometimes, you know, yeah, that is actually being the case, man. You know what I'm saying? That you know, we taking away, you know, and even look, some people they not doing righteousness, or you know, they might be charlatans or whatever. But see, even with that, look, I could just say, look, President Charlatan, I'm not dealing with them. But there's a certain amount of you spending more time trying to stop other crabs from getting out the barrel than you spending trying to get out the barrel. You understand what I'm saying? So you spending more time trying to stop this charlatan dude from collecting money from whoever is the people that he's fooling. You know what I'm saying? You know, you so busy pointing out the flaws of the person or of their ideas. And this is another thing that I think we've been exploited on, you know, in terms of they could easily, you know, they get their mean gene on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you just up here, you know what I'm saying? They got different wrestling down south. But up here, before, what is it now? WWE? See, before it was the WWE, it was the WWF.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they used to have a dude on there that used to be the dude that interviewed the fighters. Where they, you know, they fight out there. His name is Mean Gene Okerlund. You know what I mean? So when I say Mean Gene, that's what I'm talking about. Somebody that, you know, you give people to fight. You know what I'm saying? Right. See, that's what they do though. They get their Mean Gene on. Whereas, look, if you got Booker T. Washington, then we going back W.E.B. Du Bois.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? If you got the unity, what is it? The UNIA, what does that stand for again?
The unification.
The United Negro. So, you know, but you know, you're right. If you got that, then we're gonna get the NAACP. You know what I'm saying? If you got Malcolm, we're gonna get Martin. Whatever it is, you understand what I'm saying? And so then now, you got the people, rather it's the church people against the militants. You know what I mean? Rather it's the people who want to go a political route for a solution against the people that want to go the economic route for a solution. You know what I'm saying? You know, and a lot of times, you know, those two factions, instead of seeing that, nah, all of this got to be done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, we didn't just get here because of political stuff. We didn't just get here because of economic stuff. You know what I mean? We didn't get in this condition just because they gave us the wrong foods. We didn't get in this position just because they didn't give us the right medical care. We here because of all them reasons. So it ain't no one button you're going to press and all this is going to change. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's definitely that's definitely a factor. You know what I'm saying? That we've spent more time, you know, taking away than we spent building. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I you know, everybody has to get back to smell goods. You know, everybody got they preference and everything. You understand what I'm saying? But to me, you know, look, you know, I ain't even gonna get that. That's too far away from the hotepness of this channel. You know, and I'm gonna tell you something, small goods. I've been here, not just with the topic we talking about, but just in general. This statement that you just made, right? It seems having common knowledge is a great starting point. You know, one of the biggest mistakes that a 5%er ever makes, right, is trying to go through that to have social equality with people that's not 5%. Like that's one of the biggest. You know, if you want to get in a type of frustrating argument, go have a conversation with somebody that you got a little bit of common knowledge with. You know what I'm saying? You know, see, in this particular situation, the problem with that common knowledge, right, is it might don't be so common. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, we how many people been watching well, I know SW, I think the God IB probably have y'all been seeing Amina? Not our Amina, not Gangsta Sis. Have y'all been seeing the other Amina that's on I seen her, I think I seen her on Star and Buck Wild. Not Star and Buck Wild. You know I'm old school. And I seen her on MREC TV. Yeah, shout out to MREC and Star. Oh, she comes on MREC every week now. I gotta check it out. But now look, you know, she said that she came in the you know, she came into the knowledge, you know, through a brother that she was dealing with or whatever. You know, she's his herb. She said she reflect his light. You understand what I'm saying? So far from what she said, right? A lot of that light is on a different wavelength and frequency than mine. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and I don't need to be dealing with a situation where you telling me about, you know, what somebody else told you, you know, because look, you know, and that's the type of thing that could happen. Could happen. I'm not saying it will happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it happens every time. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, to a certain degree, that's not really your knowledge adding the cipher. That's you adding your knowledge on to a cipher. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, I mean, it's just one of them things. And then you gotta realize too, you know, I travel in certain circles, certain things that, you know, your mentality, you know what I'm saying, when the person tell you what they think about other people, they telling you a lot about themselves too. So, you know, but you know that's a just a certain science where, you know, for me personally, you know what I'm saying, I'd rather be the foundation, you know what I'm saying, and if you know it ever came to the point where I saw eye to eye like that, you know what I'm saying, I might see it differently, you know what I'm saying, but I don't recommend that.
So are we back here tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow I'm here from 7. Yeah. We didn't get started at 7 today anyway.
I'm about to be out.
All right, man, no doubt.
Peace, God.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm gonna hit the direction real quick, okay?
All right, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? So the Christian said patience is to be practiced when dealing with any earth. For the record, I love Mother Earth. Be mindful of the ice caps, the fluctuating waves, the tundras, but when seeds blossom, it's great. I mean, you know, in so many words, you know, but there's you know, like first of all, you know, and again, look, this is a Hotep channel, and we deal with Hotepness. But listen, first of all, when you know, right now you have to kind of, you know, you got to make sure that what you're dealing with is the earth. Like just because you see a black woman around us, that don't mean she the earth. See, sometimes we have a little bit uh weaker criteria. We have a little bit weaker criteria, you know what I'm saying, for, you know, sisters that come into this. You understand what I'm saying? So you know. See, SW. See, I'm just let SW say it. You know what I mean? Because you know this is SW statement, and so then it doesn't reflect the uh, views of the Random Jews channel. SW said, you trying to get an already made earth, get ready for a headache, bro. Real live eighth degree, you know. And SW puts his disclaimer here to let everyone know that this is a Hotep channel and he participates in Hotepness with us. But yeah, that's a dangerous line, guys. It's a dangerous line. You know, hopefully, you know, if I run into any of my sisters in this next week, I'm probably gonna have a scuffle. I might I might have to scuffle if I see uh certain ones of my sisters, but you know, can't just let you jump off the deep end that way. But yeah, that had to be like we all had to come in with like anonymous names or something to really that one. I don't want to touch that one. I do not want to touch that one. Um, I mean, well, yeah, at our age, smell good. Yeah, that there's no changing. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's with 5% in general. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the worst 85% make the best 5%. So you know, if you was talking about, you know, like a younger female or whatever, and she might have these characteristics. You understand what I mean? And if you could draw her up, you know what I'm saying? You know, but yeah, in general, you know what I'm saying? Remember when I said that? Look, the 24,896, right? Her family made her that. They, you know, we grown people. So you know when you met that woman, she already had hills and mountains on her. She already had eggs in her ovaries. Now when you add on the 104, right, to make her 25,000, you know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, she, you know, the kind of 24,896 she was is going to reflect on what kind of 25,000 she going to be when you choose to base your history on it. You know, I mean,
you know, I wouldn't advise you, to start out with like a city girl or something, and then, you know, try to teach her to be the earth. I mean, if that's the type of challenges that you enjoy in life. Mr. Green once said the earth got a specific circumference diameter, travels at a specific speed, and carries a specific weight. Yeah, that's what I say. So the same way we look at the original man and we say, yeah, you got one characteristic where you the black man, but when it comes to being the maker, the only creating planet Earth, Father, civilization, God of the universe, you don't fit none of that bill. So you got a lot of women that it's like, okay, they can nurture the seed in their stomach and give birth to it. You understand what I'm saying? But their water is polluted. The vegetation on them is poisonous. See, y'all getting me off my hotepness now. Got to do disclaimers. Pissy said, I had trouble figuring out my purpose on this land. Can you share your knowledge with me dealing with that? Well, what land are you talking about? SW. I guess SW is up for that challenge. SW said he'd take a city girl. All right, we got Inf Mega in the building. Halftime said, can you elaborate on the best 80? No, I said the worst 85s make the best 5%. Well, let me use myself as an example. When I was in the 85 world, you know what I'm saying? I was a person that I influenced people to do a lot of things we shouldn't have been doing. Like I was a person who, you know how I always say, look, if you ain't got no plan, it's people with plans and they need flunkies. I was that person. You know what I'm saying? Like it was some people that just participated in things. I was the dude that had the master plan. You know what I'm saying? Like when people wanted to do negativity, they'd come and get me. Not just me, like I'm the king of it, but I'm just saying I was one of the people that, I was the dude that it's like, yo, we coming to school today, right? And we late, right? But I'm the dude that's like, yo, saying we might as well not even go. Now that we not going, yeah, let's go do this other crazy thing over here. You understand what I'm saying? And that same kind of characteristic was kind of shifted over to the 5% world. You understand what I'm saying? Where, instead of me being the person that influenced people to do wrong, I became the person that was influencing everybody to be righteous. You understand what I'm saying? Things that I might have started doing in order to facilitate what I wanted to do in the realm of 6. You know what I'm saying? Became, some of the building blocks of what I did in the realm of 7. You understand what I'm saying? That's me. That's one aspect in which as the one of the worst 85%. I became one of the best 5% through that. You see what I mean? So the same thing. You know, it applies to different people in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Where you see, some people in the nation, you know what I'm saying, that's the most prolific, righteous people you might know, you know what I'm saying, if you go back in the history, you know what I mean? Like some of the brothers that, they teetotalers, you know what I'm saying, never get stimulated, they get everybody. Back in the days, they was monsters. Now they run the NA. So, you could never sleep on nobody, you know what I'm saying, in terms of, how they going to react once they get this knowledge and wisdom. You know what I mean? Because, I seen the opposite too, where a brother was, I knew him in 85 world. He was like a church kid. Went to all his classes, honor roll, came with 5%, right as out. You know what I'm saying? So just saying, so somebody asked me a question here. The Pizzy is saying you don't understand what to do with your time here on earth. Is that, wait, what was the question again? What you was doing in this land? I have trouble figuring out my purpose on this land. Can you share your knowledge with me dealing with that? Well, this kind of, purpose stuff is a little bit new age language for me. I speak more in terms of duties. You know what I mean? What is your duty? You know what I'm saying? Which I guess is related to that. You know what I mean? Our first duty is to become and remain civilized. You know what I'm saying? And then to civilize others. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you have like a thing that you do, you know what I'm saying, where you like, this is my purpose right here. Like, you might be an artist where you like, this is my purpose for living. This is what I love to do. This is, you might be LeBron James, your purpose, you get up in the morning, what inspires you is playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? But, ultimately, all of that added on together is showing forth and proving that Allah's God always has been and always will be. And how you doing that is with the different things that you doing in life. You know what I'm saying? Are you showing and proving that Allah is God? You know what I'm saying? Are you being an asset to yourself and whatever cipher you in, whatever cipher you dealing with? You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of that is dealing with your personal, just like I was telling with the brother, your personal idea of how you see yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning, like, if you the garbage man, right? Then your purpose for walking over to that garbage can is to dump it. You know what I'm saying? If you a child, your purpose for walking over to that garbage can might be to throw away that candy wrapper. So, other than the generic stuff that I told you about, showing and proving who you are, right? Through everything that you're saying and doing, you know what I'm saying? You would have to back up and ask the question, how do you see yourself? See, because like I said, and don't take this personally, you know what I'm saying? But when you look at the degrees and it tells you who's the original man, yeah, that's speaking generically, you know, and this goes for any individual. What makes you think that degree is talking about you? You understand what I'm saying? Some of the things that you're doing in your life is determining your purpose. You see what I'm saying? Like if you got children, that's a purpose. But all these other elaborate things, you know what I'm saying, that you see, like I said, that's like a new wave, new age, type of term, you know what I'm saying? You know, people having, purpose and all of this. And, at the end of the day, you know, all of the answers really come from inside. Like it's something inside of you, right? That has to be satisfied by something that comes from inside of you. But in terms of any, external purpose and all of that, that's temporary. You know what I'm saying? Your purpose for walking in the DMV is to renew your license. But when you're talking about being on the planet, who are you, right? And what kind of word you trying to make life? What kind of ideas you trying to make come to life? You understand what I mean? Right now, look, if it's 50 years from now, right? If it's 50 years from now, you know, and the young guys at that time is talking about, the great guys, they talking about the older guys, you know what I mean? The guys ain't here no more, right? What do you want them to say? You know, kind of, if you could write your own obituary right now, right? What you wanted to say? Maybe you just wanted to say, yo, I was the livest dude on this block. On this block right here, I beat everybody up and I made the most money selling drugs. Then you just go back and you do all that stuff. That's your purpose. If you wanted to say, look, you know, this is Pizzy right here. Yeah, you remember Pizzy, right? Yeah, the one that came through here and saved all the people. Yeah, Pizzy. That's how you figure that out. Yeah, SW made a good point right here. That even outside of the knowledge, that you would see that a lot of the most prolific gang members that was out there putting in the most pain end up being the strongest community activists. They end up, having the most programs trying to keep the youth away from that type of life.
Yeah, that's a good point too. As W said, the 12th man on the bench becomes the great coach. Yeah, that's true. I did notice that great players, especially in basketball, well, mostly in basketball, the great players in basketball, they don't make good coaches. And I always thought that was because they don't understand that everybody can't do what you do. You know, like I used to notice, like I first noticed that with Larry Bird when he was coaching, where dude would miss a shot, and you could see the look on Larry's face, like, yo, Spence, you just missed that. But you missed that. You was wide open. You just missed that. Like Larry. Hey, but oh man, yeah, Mr. Greenwood. That's Can we say this on the Hotep channel? I don't know if we can say this on the Hotep channel, G1. So yeah, we're gonna put a disclaimer right here. This right here may or may not reflect the views of the Random Jews channel. Mr. Greenwood says, I've heard it said that you can't make a hoe into a housewife, but a hoe that's tired of hoeing makes for a good wife. See, that should have made it into Aesop's fables. Halftime said, I think it was Malcolm who said something like the most passionate convert is always the most loyal. Look, Malcolm X is another good example. That he came from a world of crime and ended up being one of the most righteous amongst them. Can you build too much, too strong, too long? Not with yourself. You know what I'm saying? But what you're dealing with right now is what they call truth in season and truth out of season. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know, dealing with each one of them, each one of them, each one of them, each one of them could be a situation where you cut off your nose to spite your face. But see, individually, can you build too much? You know, you talking about talking, like I mean, wise words, yes. Everything we doing is building. When you at rest, you build enough energy to do what you got to do the next day. But just like I said, can you rest too much? Can you do that? Can you try to build that energy up too much to where you miss the actual accomplishments that you was building up the energy to make? Too strong is a little bit of a fine line because, that's a little bit relative. You know what I mean? Too long, yeah, you could beat people in the head to where, they haven't had an opportunity to digest what you said. Too strong because you put more weight on them than they can handle. You understand what I mean? Especially now, if you referencing all of this to the woman, absolutely. True self said knowledge of self amplifies your best qualities or characteristics. Yeah, see, SW is just saying what I was saying. Even at rest, you building. The body is generating the energy that you need to do whatever you got to do. Well, see, if understanding isn't being understood, right? It depends on the individual, of course. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'm dealing with myself, then nah, we gonna need to hash this out. And if something happens, we got something to handle. When I see you tomorrow, we gonna get back to hashing this out. You know what I'm saying? But when you dealing with people that's not on that level, right? Then absolutely. You know what I'm saying? If you put too much water on one part of the planet, right? We make rain, hailstorm, earthquake. You put too much water on one part of the planet, you're gonna cause a flood, and that's not conducive to life. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta let a person get a chance to digest it. Or just like we say, light takes 500 seconds, 8 minutes, or 20 seconds to reach the planet Earth. Some people ain't on the planet Earth. Then we say some people like, yo, you out there. Yeah, some people is out there. And so they might need a little bit more time for that light to hit them. You know what I'm saying? Somebody never told you something and then you came back, could have been years later. See, yo, I just realized what you said. And now when you said, I thought you meant that. The same way with 120. It comes a certain time, you studying, you know what I mean? You get fatigued, it's time to go to rest, man. Your understanding is not going to grow no more if you just try to stay up 72 hours straight reading the lessons. Give yourself a chance to digest that. You know what I'm saying? Understanding comes in time. Now, it's a lot. So they had the gangster gang member from his town. I guess that meant he was, really putting in pain out there, named JoJo, and he's serious with the activism now. What he said, your physical is dealing with a mental health consumer right now. He said that homes in the hood have been transformed into $700,000 homes, where the burbs homes are upper 300,000 these days. What's a mental health consumer? What is this right here? SW says that should be written in stone somewhere. I done started talking now. I done lost track of whatever that is. Smell Good says someone mentioned to him back in 1993 about buying property in the hood of hoods. He laughed at him. They were 190,000 there. Was told in 5 years there will be white people walking poodles. Non-believer made to realize the truth. You know, one of the funniest stories. I got a funny story about that too. Smell Good. So that's what they call them now. The police call people they arrest consumers. Do you see that? Like, I knew it was something like this, but I just needed you to say it because I didn't want to speculate. But that's what they call people they arrest now, consumers. But you know, one of the funniest stories I got about that, right, is a brother told me that back in the early 80s, like the very, maybe, the mid 80s, something like that. You know what I mean? Mid to late 80s, that a brother had came up to him and was like, yo, I'm getting money right now. I'm selling this water. He said, water? What's water? You talking about dust? Like, nah. Like water. She going, what you mean like water that come out the faucet? See, yeah. I'm selling the water, man. I'm telling you, I got the van and I do these deliveries all out on Long Island, man. I'm telling you, man, it's making money, man. It's very sailor test. Like, yeah. All right, bro. I'll see you later, man. I got to go move this pack. And, who would have thunk it? Water is probably the most, commercially sold, beverage right now. But at the time, we was drinking water. I mean, in New York, we was drinking water out of the fire hydrant in 86, 87, we was still doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like a common phrase that you would hear people say in New York, man. Only thing free out here is water. But he missed the boat on that. He missed the boat on that, much like your brother missed that real estate boat right there. But at any rate, though, we had an excellent live. We did what we were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that made it this far through the Each One Teach One, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Other than that, everybody knows I'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock for the regularly scheduled civilization class and live stream. In the meantime, and in between time, peace to all the gods, the earths, the conscientious observers in the background. All right, Universal 7. Jam, I didn't even know you was in here. Wise you. But yeah, tomorrow we'll be getting back into whatever topics. I guess we're gonna get a visit again from the brother right here that just came from North Carolina. That's interested in the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Get him up to speed. And peace.